story missions to finish up everything.
First-class engine. Early one morning, Percy arrived back at Tidmouth Sheds, very tired. "Morning, Percy," said Thomas. "You do look tired." "Yes, I am," said Paul. "Letters and parcels than ever." "Heh," scoffed James. "You're only a little engine. No wonder you struggle to manage those heavy vans. Perhaps Sir Topham Hatt should give the job to another engine, or even Harold. I'm sure they could manage the work." "I can manage fine on my own, thank you," said Percy firmly.
"Perhaps," said a voice, "you could do with a little help, Percy."
It was Sir Topham Hatt, who had just arrived and had heard everything.
"James, you think another engine should help take the mail. I think that's a very good idea, and I'm sure Percy wouldn't mind the lighter workload for a while."
Screw it, we're gonna put on some,
Percy was pleased, and James looked smug.
Tug.
That was until Sir Topham Hatt continued.
"I'm assigning both you and Percy to tonight's mail run. You can help him collect all the letters and parcels that need to go to the mainland."
James was horrified. "But, sir," he protested, "I'm supposed to be taking the express in the morning, and I can't do that if I've been busy all night pulling the mail train."
"I'm sure Emily wouldn't mind taking the express in your place, James," replied Sir Topham Hatt. "Now the decision is final, so I'll hear no more about it."
And Sir Topham Hatt turned and walked away.
Now listen to some best of Gordon.
Later that night, James and Percy had collected their mail vans and were waiting for them to be loaded at Knapford Station. Percy was trying to explain to James what he had to do, but James was taking no notice. "James, you must remember to collect all the bags of mail at each station," explained Percy. "Sometimes the mail will arrive by road, so you have to be patient and wait for the van to arrive and be loaded into your train before you leave." But James was too busy thinking about getting back to his shed and waking up to pull the morning express. Just then, the guard's whistle blew, and the two engines set off. "Good luck, James," said Percy. "I'll manage fine, thank you," James grumbled. "Silly Percy, thinking I can't manage a few bags of mail. It can't be that difficult."
Do you know what I think it is? It's ditch water. Before Gordon could answer, Thomas pushed away. Standing in Clara Road is harder to leave than there is. That was funny. That was funny. He chuckled. He felt very pleased with himself. Annie and Clara were deeply shocked. They had great respect for Gordon, the big engine. Come wait in the barn. The drive will lead down to the cabin to see where they were going. Thomas said Thomas to himself.
Right, let's get all this mail loaded into the vans. Then we can be on our way.
And when trains come in, he pulls the empty coaches away so that the big engines can go and rest.
That's all the mail from this station. Let's get going. The sooner we finish collecting all this mail, the sooner I can get back to my shed.
He loves playing tricks on them, including Gordon, the biggest and proudest engine of all. Thomas likes to tease Gordon with his whistle. I got lazy wheels. Why don't you work hard like me? One day, after pulling the big express, Gordon had arrived back at the site. He was very tired. It was just hard to sleep when Thomas came up with his cheeky way. I got lazy wheels. It's so hard to look for a change. You can't catch me. I ran away. Instead of going to sleep again, Gordon needed to get back in time.
that was
Hurry up
worth it.
yourself, replied Thomas. Gordon, the proud engine, began making his plan to teach Thomas a lesson for teasing him. Almost before the coaches had stopped moving, Gordon reversed quickly and was coupled to the train. "Get in quickly, please," he whistled. Thomas usually pushed behind the big trains to help them start, but he was always uncoupled first. This time, Gordon started so quickly they forgot to uncouple Thomas.
First
Gordon's
class
chance had
engine.
come.
Early one morning, Percy arrived back at Tidmouth Sheds, very tired.
Come on, puffed Gordon to the coaches.
Morning, Percy, said Thomas. You do look tired.
Fast, too fast for Thomas. He wanted to stop.
Yes, I am, said Percy sleepily.
Stop!
I was up all night delivering the mail.
Hurry!
It seems like there are more letters and parcels than ever.
laughed the coaches.
Scoffed James. You're only a little engine. No wonder you struggle to manage those heavy vans. Perhaps Sir Topham Hatt should give the job to another engine, or even Harold. I'm sure they could manage the work. I can manage fine on my own, thank you, said Percy firmly.
Perhaps, said a voice, you could do with a little help, Percy.
At last they stopped at a station.
It was Sir Topham Hatt, who had just arrived and had heard everything. James, you think another engine should help take the mail. I think that's a very good idea, and I'm sure Percy wouldn't mind the lighter workload for a while.
Percy was pleased, and James looked smug. That was until Sir Topham Hatt continued.
Well, little Thomas, chuckled
I'm
Gordon.
assigning
Now
both
you know
you
what hard
and
work
Percy
means,
to
don't
tonight's
you?
mail run. You can
Poor
help him
Thomas
collect
couldn't
all the
answer.
letters and
He had
parcels
no
that
breath.
need to go
He
to the
just
main
puffed
line.
slowly away to rest and had a long
James
drink.
was horrified.
Maybe
But,
I don't
sir,
have to
he
tease
protested,
Gordon to feel
I'm supposed to be
important,
taking the
Thomas thought to
express in the
himself.
morning,
And
and
he
I can't
puffed
do that if I've been
slowly.
busy all night pulling the mail train.
I'm sure Emily wouldn't mind taking the express in your place, James, replied Sir Topham Hatt. Now the decision is final, so I'll hear no more about
One
it.
day, Edward was in the shed where he lived with the other engines.
And Sir Topham
They were
Hatt
all bigger
turned
than
and
Edward
walked away.
boasted about it. The driver won't choose you again, said Gordon. He wants strong engines like us. But the driver and fireman felt sorry for Edward. Would you like to come out today? Oh, yes,
Later
please,
that
said
night,
Edward.
James
So
and
they lit his
Percy
fire,
had
made
collected their
lots of
mail
steam,
vans
Edward
and were
puffed
waiting for them to
away.
be loaded at Knapford Station. Percy was trying
The
to
other
explain
engines
to
were
James
very
what he had
cross
to
at
do,
being left behind.
but James was taking no notice.
James, you must remember to collect all the bags of mail at each station, explained Percy. Sometimes the mail will arrive by road, so you have to be patient and wait for the van to arrive and be loaded into your train before you leave.
But James was too busy thinking about getting back to his
I'm going
shed
out again
and
tomorrow,
waking up to
Edward
pull
told
the
other
morning
engines that
express.
night. What do you think of that?
Just
But
then,
he didn't hear
a
what
guard's
they
whistle
thought,
blew.
for he was so
The two
tired and
engines
happy
set
that he
off.
fell asleep at once. Next morning, Edward woke up to
Good
find
luck, James,
nothing had changed.
said
Gordon
Percy.
was still boasting. You watch me, little Edward, as
I'll
I
manage
rush
fine,
through with
thank
the
you,
express.
James
That
grumbled.
would be a splendid sight for you.
Silly
Goodbye, little
Percy,
Edward.
thinking
Look out
I
for
can't
me this
manage
afternoon.
It can't be that difficult.
Edward went off to do some shunting. He liked shunting. It was fun playing with freight cars. He would come up quietly and give them a push. Then he would stop, and the silly freight cars would go bump into each other. Oh, they cried, whatever is happening? Edward played till there were no more freight cars, then he stopped to rest. Presently, he heard a whistle. Gordon was cross. Instead of nice shining coaches, he was pulling a dirty freight train. A freight train, a freight train, a freight train, he grumbled. said Gordon. The noisy freight cars hold an engine back so. Edward's driver came up. We've come to push. No use at all, said Gordon. You wait and see, replied Edward's driver. They brought the chain back to the block. I'm ready, said Edward. No good, murmured Gordon. They totally pushed as hard as they could. I can't do it, puffed Gordon. I will do it, puffed Edward. Edward pushed and puffed and pushed as hard as ever he could. And almost before he realized it, Gordon found himself at the top of the hill. I've done it, he said proudly. He forgot all about kind Edward, didn't say thank you. Edward was left out of breath, far behind. He was happy because he had been so helpful. At the next station, he found that the driver and fireman were very pleased with him. The fireman gave him a nice long drink, and the driver said, I'll get out my paint tomorrow and give you a beautiful coat of blue with red stripes. Then you'll be the smartest engine in the shed. It's no good, they said at last. Your big tender upsets the balance. If you were a little tank engine, you'd be all right. Now you'll have to pull the next train backwards. Look, called some boys. There's a new tank engine. Oh, it's only
Right,
Gordon.
let's get all this mail loaded into the vans. Then we can be on our way.
Hello, called Thomas. Playing tank engines? Sensible engine. Take my advice. Scrap your tender and have a nice bunker. Gordon said nothing. Even James laughed when he saw him. Take care, hissed Gordon. You might stick too. No fear, chuckled James. I'm not so fat as you. I mustn't stick, thought James. He stopped on just the right place to balance the table. It could now swing easily. Gordon arrived in time to see everything.
That's all the mail from this station. Let's get going. The sooner we finish collecting all this mail, the sooner I can get back to my shed.
Are you playing roundabouts? James, feeling quite giddy, off to the shed now. That night, the three engines had an indignation meeting. It's shameful to treat tender engines like this. Gordon has to go backwards. People think he's a tank engine. James spins round and he never laughs at us. And to add to that, sometimes that makes us all shout dirty sight. Listen, said Gordon, he whispered something to the others. He'll do it tomorrow. Sometimes that looks silly. Engines have decided to go on strike.
I didn't realize it was that fucking
Little tank engines like Tom's don't need turntables. They can go just as well backwards as forwards. But to hear Gordon talk, you would have thought that some Topham had given him a tender just to show how important he was. understand, little
Wow.
Thomas. We tender engines have a position to keep up. It doesn't matter where you go, but we are important. And for Sir Topham Hatt to make us do shunting, fetch coaches, and go on some of those dirty sidings, it's not the proper thing. Thomas chuckled and went off with Annie and Clarabelle. Disgraceful, Gordon hissed as he
First-class
ran backwards
engine.
to the turntable.
Early one
The
morning,
turntable
Percy
was in a
arrived
windy
back at
place close to
Tidmouth
the
Sheds,
sea, and if he was
very
not on it
tired.
just right, he put it out of balance and made it difficult
Morning,
to turn.
Percy, said Thomas.
Today,
You
Gordon
do
was
look
in a
tired.
bad temper, and the wind was blowing fiercely.
Yes, I am, said Percy sleepily.
His driver
I was
tried to
up
make
all
him
night
stop at the
delivering the
right place, but
mail.
Gordon wasn't
It
trying.
seems like there are more
The
letters
fireman
and
tried to turn
parcels
the
than
handle, but
ever.
Gordon's weight and the strong wind prevented him.
Heh, scoffed James. You're only a little engine.
Gordon was
No
resting
wonder
in
you
the
struggle to
siding.
manage those heavy
Sometimes he
vans.
thought, it's really
Perhaps Sir
tiring to
Topham
be such
Hatt
a
should give the
large
job
and
to
splendid
another engine, or
One
even
does have to
Harold.
keep up appearances,
I'm sure
so-
they could manage the work. I can manage fine on my own, thank you, said Percy firmly.
Hello, lazy bones, whistled Henry.
Perhaps, said a voice, you could do with a little help, Percy.
Fancy speaking to me like that.
It was Sir Topham Hatt, who had just arrived and had heard everything. James, you think another engine should help take the mail. I think that's a very good idea, and I'm sure Percy wouldn't mind the lighter workload for a while.
Percy was pleased, and James looked smug. That was until Sir Topham Hatt continued.
I'm assigning both you and Percy to tonight's mail run. You can help him collect all the letters and parcels that need to go to the mainland. James was horrified.
But, sir, he protested, I'm supposed to be taking the express in the morning, and I can't do that if I've been busy all night pulling the mail train.
Well, I ask you, is that right?
I'm
Is it
sure
decent?
Emily wouldn't mind taking the express in your place, James,
Then it was Henry's
replied Sir
turn
Topham
to
Hatt.
take the express.
Now the
Gordon
decision
watched him
is
getting
final,
ready.
so I'll
Be
hear
careful,
no
Henry.
more
You're not
about
pulling
it.
the flying kipper now. Mind you keep on the rails
Topham
today.
Hatt turned and walked away.
Henry went off in a huff, and Gordon yawned and went to sleep. But not for long. Wake up, Gordon, said his driver. A
Later
special
that
train's
night,
coming and we're to
James
pull it.
and Percy had
Is it
collected
coaches
their
or
mail
freight
vans
cars?
and were waiting for them to
Cars,
be
said his
loaded
driver.
at Knapford Station.
Cars, said Gordon.
Percy was trying to explain to James what he had to do, but James
Gordon's
was
flyer
taking
was
no
slow to
notice.
start, so Edward had to push Gordon to the turntable to get him facing the right
James,
way.
you must remember to collect all the bags of mail at each
I
station,
won't go.
explained
I
Percy.
won't go. grumbled
Sometimes the mail will arrive by road, so you have to be patient and
Don't
wait
be
for the
silly.
van to
Don't be
arrive and be
silly,
loaded
puffed
into your
Edward.
train before you leave.
At
But
last,
James
Gordon
was
on
too
the
busy
turntable.
thinking
The
about
movement
getting
had
back to
shaken
his
the
shed
fire. It was
and
now
waking
burning
up to
nicely
pull
and
the
making
morning
steam.
express.
Gordon was
Just
cross
then,
and didn't
the
care
guard's
what he
whistle
did.
blew.
He waited till the
2
table was
engines
halfway
set
round.
off.
I'll show them, he hissed.
Good luck, James, said Percy.
He moved slowly forward.
I'll
to
manage
jam
fine,
the
thank
table,
you, James
but he couldn't
grumbled.
stop himself and slithered into a ditch.
Silly
Whoosh,
Percy,
he hissed.
thinking I can't
Get me
manage a
out!
few bags
Get
of
me
mail.
out!
It can't be that difficult.
Not a hope, said his driver and fireman. You're stuck, you silly great engine. Don't you understand that? They telephoned Sir Topham Hatt. So Gordon didn't want to take the special train and ran into a ditch? What's that you say? The special's waiting? Tell Edward to take it, please. And Gordon, leave him where he is. We'll get him out later. On the other side of the ditch, some little boys were chattering. Oh, doesn't he look silly? They'll never get him out. They began to sing. Silly old Gordon fell in the ditch, fell in the ditch, fell in the ditch. Silly old Gordon fell in the ditch on a Monday morning. junction, and Gordon shuffled in with some freight cars. Come on, Thomas. What a funny smell. Can you smell a smell? I can't smell a smell, said Andy. A funny, musty sort of smell, said Thomas.
No one noticed it till you did, grunted Gordon. It must be yours.
Not long ago, he had fallen into a dirty ditch. Thomas enjoyed teasing him about it. Annie, Clarabelle, do you know what I think it is? It's ditch water. Before Gordon could answer, Thomas puffed away. Annie and Clarabelle could hardly believe their ears. He's dreadfully rude. I feel quite ashamed. I feel quite ashamed. He's dreadfully rude. And to Thomas they said, you mustn't be rude. You make us ashamed. But Thomas didn't care a bit. That was funny. That was funny, he chuckled. He felt very pleased with himself. Annie and Clarabelle were deeply shocked. They had great respect for Gordon, the big engine. Thomas left the coaches at the station and went off to a mine for some cars. Long ago, miners digging for lead had made tunnels under the ground. Their roofs are strong enough to hold up cars, but not the weight of engines. A large notice warns them not to enter the area. Danger! Engines must not pass this board. Silly old board, thought Thomas. He had often tried to pass it, but had never succeeded. But this morning he had made a plan. The fireman went to throw the switch. Now for my plan, thought Thomas. Bumping the cars fiercely,
Right,
he
let's
jerked
get
his
all this
driver
mail
off the
loaded into the
footplate
van.
and followed them
Then
into
we
the
can be
siding.
on our way.
Come back, yelled his driver. Fire
That's
and
all the mail
smoke,
from this
said
station.
Thomas.
Let's
I'm
get going.
sunk.
The
And
sooner we
what?
finish collecting all this mail,
Oh,
the
dear,
sooner
he
I
said.
can get
I
back to
am
my
a
shed.
silly engine. And a very naughty one, too. I saw you, said Sir Topham Hatt. Please get me out. I won't do it again. I'm not sure. Can't lift you out with a crane. The ground's not firm enough. Let me see. I wonder if Gordon could pull you out. Yes, sir, said Thomas, but he didn't want to meet Gordon just yet. Down the mine, is he? Laughed Gordon. What a joke. Little Thomas, we'll have you out in a couple of puffs. Strong cables were fastened between the two engines. Are you ready? It was a lot harder than they all thought. At last, Thomas was free. I'm sorry I was cheeky, said Thomas. That's all right, Thomas. You made me laugh, replied Gordon. I'm in disgrace. So am I, said Thomas. Why, so you are, Thomas. Shall we form an alliance? You help me, and I'll help you. Right you are, agreed Thomas. Good, that's something, rumbled Gordon. And Buffer to Buffer, allies puffed home.
letting branch line diesels pull main line trains. Never mind, Gordon. I'm sure Boco will let you pull his freight cars sometimes. Gordon spluttered. I won't pull Boco's dirty cars. I won't run on branch lines. Why not? It would be a nice change. Sir Topham Hatt would never approve, puffed Gordon. Branch lines are vulgar.
Gordon puffed away. Edward chuckled and followed him to the station. Every evening, the two engines pull two fast trains from the station. Gordon always leaves first with an express for the main line. Edward follows 5 minutes later with his train for the branch line. Usually everything runs like clockwork, but tonight there was trouble. A lady in a green floppy hat was saying goodbye to a friend. It was
It
nearly
looks like
time
the
for
station
Gordon to
master is
start.
waiting for us.
The fireman looked back towards the conductor's van.
Hello,
and
James,
saw something
said the
green
station master.
waving. Right away,
Some of the
mate.
mail arriving by road has
thought
been
the conductor
delayed,
had waved
so
his
you'll need to
flag.
wait for it to
Gordon
arrive.
started,
In the
leaving
meantime,
luggage,
here is the
his
rest of the mail for
passengers,
you.
and the conductor all standing on the platform.
Bother, muttered
Everyone was
James.
very surprised. and
This is
cross.
sure to make me late now. Come on, driver. We can't afford to be
To make
late.
matters worse, by the time Gordon had been stopped and brought back, Edward was already late with his train.
Wait, James, wait! Called the station
So
master.
now he set off first.
But James didn't stop. He was determined
But the
not to be
signalman at
late
the junction
and
wasn't
wanted
told
to
about the
prove
change.
he was better than Percy.
By mistake, he sent Edward along the main line. Gordon was sent along the branch and arrived cold and cross on one of the sidings near the harbor. Next morning, Bill and Ben peeped into the yard. There were no cars for them, but they didn't mind that. Teasing Gordon was much better fun. "What's that?" asked Bill. "Shh," whispered Ben. "It's Gordon." "It looks like Gordon, but it can't be. Gordon never comes off the branch lines. He thinks they're vulgar." Gordon pretended he hadn't heard them. "If it isn't Gordon," said Ben, "it's just a pile of old iron, which we'd better take to the scrapyard." "No, Ben, this lot's useless for scrap. We'll take it to the harbor and dump it in the sea." Gordon was alarmed. "I am Gordon. Stop! Stop!" When Boco suddenly arrived, Gordon thought him the most beautiful sight he had ever seen. "Boco, my dear engine, save me!" Boco quickly sized up the situation and threatened to take away the cars he had brought for Bill and Ben. This made the twins behave at once. Gordon thought Boco was wonderful.
Those little demons, how do you do it?
"Ah, well," said Boco, "it's just an act." Gordon still believes that Boco saved his life. You know, the twins were only teasing. It was an important day at the yard. Everyone was busy and excited, making notes and taking photographs. A special visitor had arrived and was now the center of attention. "Who is that?" whispered Thomas to Duck. "That," said Duck proudly, "is a celebrity." "A what?" asked Percy. "A celebrity is a very famous engine," replied Duck. "The driver says we can talk to him soon." "Oh," said Thomas, "he's probably too famous to even notice us." Just then Gordon arrived.
Huh, said Gordon. Who cares? A lot of fuss about nothing, if you ask me.
And he steamed away. Later that night, the engines found that the visitor wasn't conceited at all. He enjoyed talking to the other engines till long after the stars came out. He left early
complaining. Good
As
riddance,
James
he
arrived at
grumbled,
Marron
chattering
Station,
all night.
the station
Who is he
master ran
anyway?
up to him, looking rather upset.
Duck told you, replied Thomas. He's famous.
James, he
As
said,
famous as me?
I've had a phone
Nonsense.
call from the station
He's
master
famouser
at
than you.
Wellsworth,
He went
and he
100
tells
miles
me
an hour
that you
before
didn't wait
were
for the
even
mail to
thought of.
arrive by road.
Huh, so he says, puffed Gordon. But I didn't like his
James
looks.
felt foolish.
He's got no dome. Never trust domeless engines. They're
Now,
not respectable.
continued the station
I
master,
never boast,
we
but
have
I'd say
arranged for the
100
mail
miles
to
an
be
hour
brought
would be
here.
easy for me.
So please, can you
Goodbye.
wait for it to arrive? It's vital that this important
Duck took
mail
some freight
reaches its
cars to
destination
Edward
on
Station.
time.
Hello, called Edward. That famous engine came through
This
morning.
time,
He whistled
James
to me.
listened
Wasn't
carefully,
he kind?
and
He's
suddenly
the finest
an
engine
idea
in the
came to
world,
him.
replied Duck. Then he told Edward what Gordon
If
had
I
said.
deliver all the important mail,
Take no
he
notice,
thought,
soothed Edward.
then I'm
He's
sure
just
that Sir
jealous.
Topham Hatt
He
will
thinks
say
no
I'm
engine should
really
be famous
useful.
but him.
Maybe
Look,
even
he's
more
coming
useful
now.
than Percy.
Gordon was running
Don't
very
worry,
fast.
sir,
His
said
wheels
James to the
pounded
station
rails.
master. I promise I'll wait for the mail to arrive and make sure it gets to the mainland in time.
Gordon's train rocketed past and was gone.
That's a good engine, smiled the station
Knocked
master.
himself to bits.
The mail
chuckled
won't be
Duck.
long now, so you'll soon be on your way again. So James waited for the mail to arrive.
Gordon's driver eased him off. Steady, Gordon. We aren't running a race. We are, then.
He didn't
said
have to
Gordon,
wait long.
but he said it to
He heard a
himself.
car horn coming from nearby, and then watched as a red post
Suddenly,
van pulled
Gordon
into the
began to
station
feel a
car
little
park.
strange. The top of my boiler seems funny, he thought. It feels as if something is loose. I'd better go slower. But it was too late. On the viaduct, they met the wind. It was a teasing wind which blew suddenly in hard puffs.
Soon the
Gordon
important
thought it
mail
wanted
was
to push
loaded,
him off the
and
bridge.
James puffed quickly
No, you
away.
don't, he said
He was
firmly.
determined to make up
The
for
wind
lost
had
time,
other ideas.
but was even
He curled
more
around his
determined to
boiler,
prove
crept
that
under
he
his
could be
loose
as
dome,
patient as
lifted it off
Percy.
and away into the valley below. Gordon was most uncomfortable. The cold wind was whistling through the hole where his dome should be, and he felt silly without it. At the big station, the freight cars laughed at him. Gordon tried to wish them away, but they crowded around no matter what he did. On the way back to the shed, he wanted his driver to stop and fetch his dome. We'll never find it now, said the driver. You'll have to go to the works for a new one. Gordon was very cross. I hope the shed is empty tonight, he huffed to himself. All the engines were there waiting. Never trust domeless engines, said a voice from somewhere behind him. They aren't respectable. One morning, Thomas was being cleaned when Gordon arrived. Mud had blown all over his smart blue paint. Hello, Gordon, called Thomas. You look as if you've had a mud bath. Be a sensible engine and have a shower instead. Gordon snorted. I haven't time to dawdle over my appearance like fussy tank engines do. The wind blew stronger. Gordon, slow down, called his driver. This made Gordon crosser still. Now I'll be dirty and late, he hissed. At the next station was a sign. All trains must wash down daily. James had just finished being cleaned. Come on, Gordon, said his driver. You'll feel better, too, after a good hose down. Bah, said Gordon, and angrily let off steam. You're a very naughty engine, said Gordon's driver. Now James will need another shower. You'll have to wait your turn till later. Good riddance, huffed Gordon. I'm far too busy to waste time with water. He finished his journey safely and steamed into the big station. Sir Topham Hatt was waiting. So were Gordon's coaches and the passengers. Goodness gracious, said Sir Topham Hatt. You can't pull the train. Henry will have to do it. Gordon, you'd better get cleaned straight away. James got ready to take the express when Gordon returned. Be careful, warned Gordon. The hills are slippery. You may need help. I don't need help on hills, replied James humbly. Gordon thinks he knows everything. Earlier, a storm had swept Gordon's hill, blowing leaves onto the tracks, which made them slippery. Even though the storm had passed, the hill was still difficult to climb. James knew this. The signal showed clear, and James began to go faster. I'll do it, he puffed. Halfway up, he was not so sure. I must do it, but his wheels slipped on the leaves. He couldn't pull the train at all. Help, help, whistled James. His wheels were turning forward, but the heavy coaches pulled him backwards. The whole train started slipping down the hill. His driver shut off steam and put on the brakes. Then carefully he stopped the train. Gordon saw everything. Ah, well, we live and learn. Never mind, little James. I'm going to push behind. Clouds of smoke and steam billowed from the snorting engines as they struggled up the hill. We can do it, puffed James. We will do it, puffed Gordon. At last, they reached the top. Beep, beep. Thank you. Goodbye, whistled James. Boo, boo, answered Gordon. Goodbye. That night, Sir Topham Hatt came to see the engines. Gordon was miserable. Please, sir, said Thomas, can Gordon pull coaches again now? If you understand that having a washdown is essential to every engine, then yes, Gordon, you may. Thank you, grunted Gordon. Dirty or clean, I'm a famous machine. No one heard but you. The big engine, Thomas the tank engine, puffed buffer to buffer back home. It had been a busy day. First, Thomas had teased Gordon about the time that the big engine had slid into a ditch. Then Thomas fell down a mine and Gordon came to his rescue. Remember, Thomas, called Gordon grandly, united we stand, together we fall. You help me, and I'll help you. I'll remember, replied Thomas, but I hope Sir Topham Hatt forgives us soon. Suddenly they noticed something. As the two engines whistled into the sheds, everywhere they looked, they saw paint pots and painter. Lost my buffer, said Thomas. What's happening? Shh, whispered Percy. Sir Topham Hatt's going to tell us now. Ladies and gentlemen and engine, I am honored to inform you that Her Majesty the Queen herself is coming here to visit us. Now, on with the preparations. The engines wondered who would pull the royal train. I'm too old to pull a modern train, said Edward. I'm in disgrace, sighed Gordon. He'll choose me, of course, boasted James. You, snorted Henry, you can't climb hills. He'll ask me to pull the train, and I'll have a new coat of paint. Then rain came. Henry's driver and fireman covered up their cab to keep dry. The painter was on the ladder above the line. Henry soared high into the air. The painter couldn't see. Both he and the paint pot fell all over Henry. Poor Henry. Well, you're not a pretty picture, sneered the painter. Sir Topham Hatt spoke next. You look like an iced cake, Henry. That won't do for the royal train. I must make other arrangements. Gordon and Thomas were waiting for him. Please, sir, one at a time, replied Sir Topham Hatt. Yes, Gordon. May Thomas have his branch line again? I think you are both sorry and deserve a treat.
Queen is here! Then Gordon whistled as he approached the station. Everyone knew that sound. The Queen's train glided into the station. Gordon was spotless and his brass shone brightly. Sir Topham Hatt stood to attention. Welcome, ma'am. The Queen thanked him for a splendid run and asked to see all the engines. Beep, beep, whistled Toby and Percy. Shh, hissed Henry and James. But Toby and Percy didn't care. 3 cheers for the Queen! Beep, beep, whistled the engines. When it was time to leave, the Queen spoke specially to Thomas, who fetched her coaches. Then to Edward. And finally to Gordon, who took her away. No engines ever felt prouder than those on Sir Topham Hatt's railway.
Gordon was feeling grumpy. This was making James cross. Why are you complaining all the time?
Because I'm a big blue engine and I know everything. I shall complain whenever I want. You're just a small red engine with ideas above your station.
I can't see any, said Percy. Where are they?
Any what?
Ideas above the station. The sky's empty. Like your smoke box, Percy, laughed James. But Gordon was still grumpy.
One day I'll show you just what a big engine can really do.
So what can a big engine really do?
Not speak to silly little green engines for a start,
Replied Gordon. Then he puffed away. Later that day, Sir Topham Hatt came to see him. Gordon, you'll be making one stop today with an empty express to test our new station. You can make up time afterwards.
why can't Henry do it? He likes idling in stations.
You will do as you are told. So Gordon did. But he was still unhappy, and he grew sick too.
I just can't get up to speed.
He moaned. It's time for your visit to the works. Your pipes are clogged, said the fireman. At last they approached the new station. He was impressed, but his mood soon changed. In front of him was a blank wall and huge buffers.
What a boring view. Important engines like me should have a panoramic view, where I can see people and people can see me.
Reached angrily. Gordon was happy. It was time to leave. Now you can really enjoy your run as long as your pipes will let you, said his driver.
Come on, I can go faster than this. Sick, green, never. What happened?
His driver and fireman said something's broken inside, said the starter. Now you really will have to go to the works. Gordon was still fuming when James arrived to collect his coaches. Well, 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 so much for knowing about everything. You got too puffed up in your boiler, so it
Sounds like you can't hear me.
When Gordon returned from the works a few days later, he was still boasting.
I am the finest engine on the island of Sodor. Probably the finest in the world.
Come on, Gordon. We're going to the official opening of the new station. Then there was trouble. As Gordon approached the new station, neither the driver nor fireman could apply his brakes.
I'm gonna fail.
Something had jammed.
Yeah.
The driver reduced steam, but Gordon was still going too fast.
This is so annoying.
Help me, please.
Well, Gordon, said Sir Topham Hatt, I knew you wanted a panoramic view, but this is not the way to achieve it.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
When Gordon was repaired again, he took Sir Topham Hatt to the new station for its second official opening. This time he arrived safely, and everyone clapped and cheered as he pulled in. Sir Topham Hatt spoke to him.
Your panoramic view is here to stay. I trust you will always see through it from the safety of your own rails.
Gordon heartily agreed.
This is annoying.
Early one morning, Gordon's fire would not light. I don't know what's wrong, sighed the firelighter. There must be gremlins about. What are gremlins? Asked Percy. I've heard that they're little green men who play tricks, replied Thomas. Can we find one?
Ha! Said James. Gremlins don't exist. They're just an excuse when things go wrong. If the firelighter says there are gremlins, there are. Ha! Snorted James.
Sir Topham Hatt had heard everything.
Silence!
He said, I am expecting a VIP, a very important person today. She has heard that all my engines are really useful. Please prove it. Yes, sir, Layton said. As long as the gremlins let us. What gremlins? The ones in Gordon's fire, sir. That's why he's not ready yet.
I'll see about that,
thundered Sir Topham Hatt. And he did.
Gordon, I expect you to be on your best behavior today. You are to pull the special coach for my special visitor.
But no high speeds, please. She won't like that. Gordon was proud and pleased. He was waiting for his special coach when Percy puffed in with some freight cars. What's the matter, Gordon? You're late.
Driver says there's gremlins in the turntable,
replied Gordon. They must be everywhere, squeaked Percy. At last, the turntable was mended, and Gordon puffed away with the special coach. He was soon working hard to make up for lost time. After he arrived at the station, Sir Topham Hatt became concerned.
Where's Thomas?
He wondered.
He's supposed to be bringing my visitor from the docks. Huh, huffed Gordon. Thomas isn't really useful if he's late.
But it wasn't long before Thomas arrived. I'm sorry. A cow strayed on the line and we had to wait for the farmer to take her away. The driver says your visitor is here safe and sound.
Indeed she is,
smiled Sir Topham Hatt.
How nice to see you.
Who is it? Whispered Percy. I don't know, replied Thomas. But Sir Topham Hatt is certainly keen to please her. He's arranged a special party for her. She's got a dog as well, said Percy.
Come on, Thomas, said the driver. You need a drink.
Huh, puffed Gordon.
Thomas is just a lazy little engine. Sir Topham Hatt is expecting me to arrive on time. We're late because of Thomas.
Gordon's driver decided to make up for lost time. Then there was trouble. I think we better slow down. This is an old line and could make things uncomfortable for the VIP. And it did. She was taking a bath and the water was slopping all over the place. Oh! She cried. Gordon was very relieved to reach his final destination, where Thomas was waiting to collect Sir Topham Hatt and his special visitor. He blew an extra long whistle. This frightened the visitor's dog so much that he fled from the station and ran into a field where a bull was grazing. The bull frightened the little dog even more. He ran back again, onto the platform and over the bridge. He didn't stop until he jumped straight into Thomas's cab.
Oops.
But he had a wonderful ride all the way to the docks. What's the dog's name? Asked the fireman.
Well, after today's event, I think I'll rename him Gremlin.
Sir Topham Hatt chuckled.
In that case, I've met one at last. Ha ha!
Excuse me, sir, but who is your very important visitor?
tell you, this lady is my mother, and she agrees with me. You are indeed really useful engines, and my mother, of course, is always right. Sir Topham Hatt's engines are proud of how useful they are. It makes them feel important, but none of them feels more important than Gordon. Watch out, Gordon wheezed. You'll get my paint all sooty. Pulling freight cars is a sooty job, teased Salty, but then you... Of course not. Express engines don't pull freight cars. It wouldn't be dignified. Dingy fried? Puzzled Percy. What's that? Dignified, Gordon corrected. It means that someone's too big for his buffers, teased Salty. Pop, said Gordon, and he puffed away. That evening, fog covered the island of Sodor. Everything slowed down, and soon the docks were packed with waiting freight cars. This caused confusion and delay. Sir Topham Hatt came to the sheds. He was in a great hurry. Henry, Thomas, and Percy, he said, you must go to the docks immediately. Yes, sir, they whistled. Then Sir Topham Hatt turned to the big blue engine. You too, Gordon, he said. I need a big engine to take the freight cars where they won't be in the way. Freight cars, huffed Gordon. He could not believe what he had heard.
Whoa!
Gordon wasn't happy to be pulling freight cars. He waited impatiently while they were shunted into place. Hurry up, chuffed Gordon crossly. Why the rush, Gordon? Asked Thomas. If I must pull freight cars, then I'll show Salty how an express engine pulls freight cars, Gordon huffed. Careful, Captain, Salty tooted. You don't want to get too big for your buffers. But Gordon ignored Salty. The next morning, Gordon raced along with his heavy load. Now this is how you pull freight cars, he puffed. The signalman had accidentally left the points switched to the branch line. Gordon rattled through the junction. That's strange. I'm on the branch line. Oh no, the signalman cried. Express trains aren't supposed to go that way. It was too late. Gordon had already raced into the distance. The old branch line was weak and rusty. There were signs warning all the trains to go slow. But Gordon ignored the signs. I'm an express engine. I don't go slow, he said. And he went even faster. The branch line couldn't take his weight, and the rails buckled. Oh, help! Gordon cried as he slid off the tracks and into a field. Everyone makes mistakes, said Thomas. Even you. Salty's sorry he teased you, puffed James. And I'm sorry I was too big for my buffers, chucked Gordon. And all the engines gave a jolly toot. Even Gordon.
It was May Day on the island of Sodor. And the engines were celebrating. They knew there'd be music and lots of fun. Topham Hatt said that the engines could be decorated too. I'm going to have flags and streamers, whistled Percy. I'm going to have a big red banner, whistled Thomas.
What decorations will you have, Gordon? Asked Murdoch. Decorations aren't dignified for an important engine like me. I pull the express.
Gordon was feeling insulted.
Silly little engines, he grunted.
Thomas was enjoying himself. He was bringing the Mayflower. The farmer's children waved. Thomas peeped happily as he passed by. Soon it was time for the decorating.
Alright, this is becoming...
Percy's driver was wrapping streamers and flags around his funnel. Thomas had a big red banner on his tanks. Even Murdoch was being decorated, although he was very shy about it.
We could have a contest for the best dressed engine,
Suggested James. Just then, Gordon shunted in.
A contest?
He puffed.
I'm bound to win any contest.
You will have to be decorated, said James. This is a best-dressed engine contest.
Not me,
Puffed Gordon.
You never catch me looking so ridiculous.
The engine smelled splendid. But not Gordon. He was cross.
Decorations aren't dignified. Huh. Who cares about a contest anyway?
Further down his line, a colorful banner was strung across the bridge. Then, as Gordon steamed across the bridge, it came loose and wrapped around his firebox. Gordon couldn't see the line ahead. Gordon tried to whoosh the banner off, but it wouldn't budge.
I can't see! He whistled loudly to his driver. Stop!
You can't stop, Gordon, his driver called back. You're the express. Trevor was chugging slowly along with his load of apples for the children's apple farm. Trevor heard a whistle. He was going as fast as he could, but it wasn't fast enough. The apples were all smashed. James was the last engine to join the contest, or so he thought. Here comes Gordon! Cried the passengers. We didn't think you wanted to be decorated, teased Thomas.
I didn't!
Puffed Gordon. Well, you're definitely the best-dressed engine, said James. All the engines agreed. Gordon was secretly pleased, but he didn't think it was dignified to say so. Silly Gordon. It was a sunny day on the island of Sodor, and all the engines were working hard. Gordon was feeling very excited.
Morning, Thomas. I look my best, and you know why?
Why?
Because the Duke and Duchess are visiting. Sir Topham Hatt will be choosing me as their special engine.
Huh, puffed Thomas. After Gordon had been washed and polished, he rushed away to meet the visitors. But a signal diverted Gordon into a side best.
I'm the Duke and Duchess's private engine. I take them everywhere. There will be a party for the Duke and Duchess at Marin Station.
That's far away over Gordon's Hill. You'll need to take on plenty of water, muttered Gordon.
I have plenty of water, wheezed Spencer, and he raced away.
Done.
I was only trying to be useful.